case, 7th hour is gone. Or 6th hour.
Watch what you say.
Yes, Javon.
I don't even say anything bad.
That's debatable.
Debatable.
What's the thing you said on the table recorded?
If we don't even.
No, we don't need to repeat that. Okay, don't repeat it. Okay, so what we are talking about today, we are going to start out by talking about those composite ones that I said, oh, we'll put this on tomorrow's homework, okay? So where you have a thing, and then on the inside of the parentheses, you have a thing on the outside of the parentheses. So we're going to talk about using those from the table. Bless you. And then we're going to talk about what about exact values if it's not on the table. Okay, which is not difficult. Okay, it's related to things we've already done. So let me have you see if you can find sine inverse of the tangent of. I have my circle. All of them. Well, that's not fair. We just took a test. And like 4 people were gone, so zeros for their test. No. They just have to make it up. Exactly.
You say, so you're lucky only have one.
What?
I'm gonna throw it in the back of her head.
Okay, so we talked about this yesterday. Do the inside first. Treat this as 2 separate problems, basically. Do the inside first. So you're doing the tangent of pi over 4, which gave you an easy one. Okay. Oh, 7 pi over 4. Yep, sorry. No, so just tangent. So that's going to be a number. Okay. Okay, so let me review with you. When you just have the angle, you're already given the angle. You know where to go. It's not tangent inverse. You're going to, well, look at tangent down here at the bottom. Tangent is y over x. So this is, Ellen asked for this review. Okay, so y over x at 7 pi over 4 is negative square root of 2 over 2 divided by positive square root of 2 over 2. Now, I gave you an easy one. So if it wasn't easy, you would, because that's correct, but you would keep switch flip. That's positive, sorry. Keep switch flip, and then you figure out what the tangent is, which is, as somebody said, -1. Okay? You didn't need to do the keep switch flip because you can see that's the thing divided by itself. So once you know that's -1, then you're going to do the outside. Now you're doing sine inverse and you're going backwards. You know the sine, you're looking for the angle. Oh, it is -1. Thank you. Okay. So what is this? Negative pi over 2. Okay. So this is what we learned in the inside. So we learned in the first half of the chapter, and the outside is what we learned yesterday. Okay. So you're going to have a mix of those. They could have whatever on the inside, whatever on the outside, but it will be a mix of yesterday's and previous chapters or previous sections in this chapter. So let's go cosine of sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so when you do, actually, let's do this. What's the final answer? It is 1/2. Okay, so inside, what's sine inverse? What's the inside equal? Pi over 3. Sine inverse of pi over 3. And so then you're going, oh, what's the cosine of pi over 3? And it is that. So that's the x value. Okay, which would be 1/2. Let's do. Let's go cosine inverse of the sine of. You good? Okay. Okay, cosine inverse sine of 7 pi over 4. Okay, what do you think it is? I believe that's 3 pi over 4. Okay, so sine of 7 pi over 4, that's normal, like just normal. If you have the angle, you're looking at the coordinate point. So it's negative square root of 2 over 2. And so then if you have the piece in the coordinate point, your answer is the angle. So cosine is x, so that's 3 pi over 4. How about this one? And then we'll move on to something else because I will run out of things to ask you, honestly. Sine inverse of the cosine of 5 pi over 4. Yes. So when you're doing the inverses, that's where you're limited to half of the circle.
Is there like a quicker way to do this?
Nope. Answer? Yeah, negative pi over 4. Okay, cosine of 5 pi over 4 is negative square root of 2 over 2. And so sine inverse of negative square root of 2 over 2. Don't forget that when we do the inverses, we're limited to half of the circle. So sine is this half of the circle over here. So it's got to be this guy. It's got to be negative pi over 4. Okay, now, questions on that? Okay, so let's talk about what if it's not on the circle?
It doesn't exist.
Nope. Okay, but still asks for exact values. So it will see something like this. Find the exact value of, let's go tangent of cosine inverse of 5 over 13. Okay, so 5 over 13, not on the circle anywhere. So what you do with this, if it's an exact value question, and it's not in the circle, you create a triangle. We've done these questions, they've just been worded differently. Okay, so you go back, so that's the strategy. You're going to create a triangle. So this first piece,
Wait, what is the cosine?
cosine inverse? Cosine inverse?
Why is it not here?
Because it is. It can be on the inside. Okay, so, yep, we did. There's a couple up there. Okay, so what does cosine tell you? If it's in a fraction, what do you have? Okay, that's true. We're going to go easier than that. Let's go back to the original definition of cosine and go opposite over adjacent. Oh, opposite over hypotenuse. How about not that? What is it? It's cosine. So it's adjacent. Okay, so you're drawing a, yeah, apparently. You're drawing yourself a triangle, making its cosine 5 over 13. And then all you're doing is finding the tangent of that angle. Okay, so this is an easy question. No, it's bigger than 8 because you got to square them. So x squared plus, we don't know, squared equals 13 squared. You could go back to doing the x over r. So did you hear that? It's going to give you the same result, so you can do that. Yep, so C is 12. Now, this is where it gets a little bit sketchy. If cosine is positive, you have to think about what we talked about yesterday. Just a second, let me find this. Okay, if we're doing cosine inverse, we need to be looking here, and if cosine is positive, it's going to be in the first quadrant. Okay, quadrant 1, because cosine is positive. So tangent in that quadrant is also positive. Say cosine is positive, tangent is positive. So final answer, what's the tangent? 12 over 5. Okay, so let's do another one. These ones have to, I better make sure, I don't want to say something that's not true. These ones have to be the inverse on the inside. There's not another way to do that. So let's go cosine of arctangent of -3 over 2. Okay, so pause a second and let's actually work this from the beginning. So tangent, when we talk about tangent inverse, we are looking at the right side of the graph. Okay, in those quadrants, which quadrant has a negative tangent? Quadrant 4, the tangent is negative. So I know this angle is in quadrant 4. What's true about the cosine in quadrant 4? Okay, so the cosine's got to be positive. My final answer needs to be positive. Now you can construct your triangle. Okay, this is a plus, not a times. Now that looks like a times. It's going to be positive. Okay, so tangent is going to be 3 over 2. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. You can kill the negatives on this because you know what it's got to be in the end. You're just going to make it work. No. How about square root of 13? 2 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. So that's 4 plus 9, that's 13. Okay, so the cosine is going to be what?
3 times the square root of 13 over 13.
No. 2. 2 times the square root of 13 over 13. Right? Because it's opposite over hypotenuse. Wow. Good golly. Let's try that again. Jeez. I do need that coffee, apparently. Adjacent over hypotenuse, but you have to rationalize. So 2.
There's still time to get that back.
I know. Well, I'm sure.
Yeah, we get our homework done too.
We could do our homework right now.
I could go while you do your homework. What a lovely idea.
Is there a coffee maker in the lounge?
I don't drink real coffee. I only drink
Throw some creamer in it.
cappuccino. It's boring. No, gross.
Just buy some cappuccino.
Yeah, I could drive pretty fast.
Buy cappuccino. Let's do that. Give us back a cappuccino, like packets on your go.
Cappuccino packets.
Yeah, you just put it in hot water and mix it with the cappuccino.
Like a hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate
Yes.
cappuccino
It's
edition.
like exactly. They definitely do.
I think Starbucks delivers those.
That's way too bougie for me. Also, way too much real coffee.
What about baking?
Also, same. Real coffee. No, thank you.
You can ask
I just like the sugar infused caffeine. That's really what it comes down to. Okay.
So then why don't you just go
Customize
drink
your
straight cappuccino with that sugar?
Because that will make me have a panic attack. Too much caffeine.
Just a little, just a shot of straight cappuccino. Just a shot.
You go like down a 5 hour.
Facts.
No, like this would be very bad.
Why would it be bad?
Have you ever actually done that?
This is how I know it would be bad. I was trying the flavors at Wesco. Chai latte. I was like, oh, I like that. I like chai latte. It has way more caffeine than everybody else. Like literally panic attack, shaking in Mr. Mull's office. It's not good. I was talking to him about a student. I was like, oh, I should not drink that anymore. Try this one.
I don't even know how to do this. Wait, never done secant or cocaine.
Okay, it's the same idea. So cotangent is what I gave you, right? Cotangent is going to be what?
Adjacent over.
Opposite. Adjacent over opposite.
Makes sense.
Okay, now, well, adjacent over opposite.
4, 5, 6.
No. No.
Square root of 41.
Square root of 41. What number? 7.
Nope, exact value. Square root of 41 was correct.
Secant is
Hypotenuse over adjacent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so square root of 41 over 4. Now, we didn't do this at first. Okay, we haven't talked about it. But if we're talking about, frick, we do have to talk about it.
nah, we good.
No. Cotangent inverse. Why don't you turn your paper over? This page 5, by the way. Oh, stop it. Okay. We don't use these very often, but if we're talking about secant, let's go secant inverse. I'm putting this on the back of 5. Okay. Secant inverse, his range is from 0 to pi. So if you happen to be doing secant inverse, and you need to know, it would only be on a problem like this, it's top half. Okay. We don't even care about the domain. Okay. Cosecant inverse is negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2. You guys, those two make sense because secant goes with cosine, top half. Cosecant goes with sine. Which is right half. Cotangent is weird. That's the problem. That's why we're writing this down, honestly. So cotangent inverse is top half.
Moving the range.
Yep, forgot to write it down. 0 to pi. There you go. It does not do the same thing as tangent because remember it's graph. Remember how the cotangent graph, probably not, but the cotangent graph is shifted over just a little bit from the tangent graph. And so it's because of it's shifted basically. Okay, everybody got that? Okay.
No.
Oh, good. So if we're talking our problem that we just did, let's see if we can squeeze it in there. Our problem that we just did, cotangent is positive. Cotangent is positive. So if we're looking at these two quadrants, which quadrant is cotangent going to be positive in? Quadrant 1. Quadrant 1. So what will secant be in quadrant 1? Positive. So you remember we don't have those three written down, but if tangent is positive, cotangent is positive. Secant is positive, cosine is positive, secant is positive. Okay? We're going to do one more like that you have to do some negative thinking. Some of you do that all the time. Some thinking with negatives, I mean to say. And then I will give you homework time. So let's do. I did say one more. Sine of tangent inverse of negative 4 over let's go 9. Okay, first question I have for you is if tangent inverse is negative, okay, tangent inverse right here. Tangent inverse is negative, which quadrant am I looking in of these two? Quadrant 4. And in quadrant 4, what's true about the sign? There's the thinking that tells you the final positive or negativeness of your final answer. Okay, now you go back to the triangle. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Don't need the negatives because we're going to deal with them at the end. What's the hypotenuse? Wow, I did mine wrong. I'll take your word for that. Square root of 97. I think that does not simplify at all. So then we just want the sign. What's the sign of our angle? Good job.
Wait, so what is it? How does that quadrant work?
So this, we're doing tangent inverse. So I know it has to be these two quadrants. Okay, so that's quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Okay, this is on, you with me? Okay, and so of those two quadrants, when I look at my circle, where I don't have, it's way too big. Where tangent is negative is this quadrant down here at the bottom. Because up here, tangent is positive. Down here, tangent is negative. So I know it's coming from quadrant 4. And then the sign there is negative. That's why our final answer on the sign, SIGN, SINE sign is negative. I know, don't talk to me. Okay, questions? Okay, time for me to stop talking. So page 325 is your homework, 65 through 80. Let me ask you this question. You don't even have to write this down. But what if I asked you to do tangent inverse of 4? Or some of the world would yell at me and then they would be like, we don't have enough information. What is it? 4/1, right? So if you only have one number, put a 1 underneath it and go from there.
Undefined.
Is there both sides?
Yep, I'm working on it.
I reckon some accuracy goes way better than
I think I took 4 or 5 out of there.
Oh.
Some of these problems are from the tables. Some of the problems are, not the tables. Some of the problems will be from the chart and some of them will be make triangles. So you get a selection of both of those.